This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
Hello and welcome to the Hub on CGTN. I'm Wang Guan in Beijing. What are the first things that come to mind when talking about the Maldives? Turquoise waters, swaying palm trees, and dazzling beaches. Now, this cluster of coral islands in the Indian Ocean is one of the most popular holiday destinations anywhere in the world. But recently, the Maldives passed through a bleak period. Tourism, the main driver of the country's economy, was hit by the protracted COVID-19 pandemic. Also, there is the threat of submergence driven by climate change. How does the Maldives cope with all these challenges? And how can China help as the two countries celebrate the 50th anniversary of their diplomatic relations? Now, my guest today is Aishath Azeema, the Maldives Ambassador to China. These are all the coral islands of your country?
Yes, this is all the islands of the Maldives that you can see in this map. It stretches on a scale of, I think, around 113 square kilometers.
Wow.
It also crosses the equator. These are actually not islands. These are a naturally formed cluster of islands. The yellow spots you can see here, those are islands. So all these
yellow spots are
yes,
islands,
yes.
and these are corals and
reef and
reefs.
lagoons. This is a naturally formed, And the Maldives, you can see it's only 1% land.
Wow.
The rest is water. So you can feel the importance of climate change and its consequences to the Maldives. If you see a larger picture of the islands, this is how our islands are. It's the natural habitat, which is also very important when building up the resorts. Also, there is a percentage where you can use so many of the resorts will have their rooms or water villas just within the beaches, and the natural heritage will remain. And this is deep sea, the lagoons, and the white sandy beaches. All our islands will have similar features.
Beautiful.
And you can always see sunsets and sunrises in the Maldives.
And the fishes, if you're a snorkeler or scuba diver.
Yes.
For sports lovers in the world. So the China-Maldives Friendship Bridge, it's right here connecting Malay and the adjacent islands.
Yes.
Right there.
Yes, this is the capital island, Malay, and where the Vilana International Airport is also here. The bridge is connecting the capital Malay island to Hulule Island, where the airport is, and also it extends by a link road, also from the Chinese government assistance to the Hulu Malay. And if you see, there will be a lot of housing projects, social housing projects under the Chinese assistance, also constructed in the Hulu Malay Island. So, China Friendship Bridge goes to the airport runway, which is also by assistance from China, and then it goes to the housing projects.
Infrastructure is really key. Madam Ambassador, welcome to the Hub on CGTN. I want to begin by asking you about the COVID-19 pandemic. The two heads of state had a conversation earlier this year saying that they will fight this pandemic together. We know that tourism industry is very important to your country. How is Maldives balancing COVID-19 prevention on one hand and developing its tourism industry, among others, on the other?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me thank CGTN and the team for giving me this platform to enlighten on the close ties between the Maldives and China. Yes, we had, as you mentioned, the head of states had a very productive conversation earlier this year. The two leaders discussed on areas of mutual interest. The two leaders reiterated the commitment to continue the bilateral relations on a positive line and explore further avenues of cooperation. I am pleased to say that due to the timely actions taken by the government of Maldives to combat the spread of virus, the COVID-19 situation is currently under control in the Maldives. On that note, I would also like to express our sincere appreciation and gratitude on behalf of the government and the people of the Maldives to the people and the government of China for its generous assistance provided to the Maldives in supply of vaccination and the essential medical supplies to the Maldives, very timely assistance we received. This donation immensely contributed to the government's efforts to continue the vaccination across the country and support the government's goal of completing vaccination for the entire eligible population. We also thank the generous and timely assistance we received from the government and the people of China, especially from the Yunnan province, Suzhou city, and from Chinese companies. Among many other friends of China, the government and the people of Maldives are very appreciative of. The government of Maldives also highly appreciate the decision by the Chinese government to ease the debt service obligation of the Maldives under the G20 debt service suspension initiatives. Coming to the second part of your question, tourism is the largest contributor to the Maldivian economy. By the year 2020, as preventive measures against COVID-19, Maldives closed its borders for a short period of time, 3 months. This had significant fall down on the tourism sector of the Maldives. However, since the borders opened in July 2020, the tourist arrivals started increasing gradually, and number has more than doubled in 2021. And by September this year, the Maldives already received 1.1 million tourist arrivals. Our target is 1.6 tourist arrivals. Before the pandemic, China was our biggest market for tourist arrivals. But due to travel restrictions and the preventive measures, there had been quite changes in the tourist arrivals from market, top market countries. The Maldives eagerly waiting for the Chinese tourists to travel back to our beautiful beaches soon.
Being a big fan of turquoise water, which I believe is the color of your beautiful dress.
Thank you.
I can't wait personally to travel to your beautiful country. But back to your point, Madam Ambassador, of the help extended by Beijing to your country, I think reciprocity is really key, because when China was hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, your country donated, I think, 1 million cans of tuna to China, right? Why tuna?
Well, the Maldives, the second most important economic activity in the Maldives is fishing. And the Maldives tuna is very unique. From the way how we catch the fish, how it is processed, and also the taste of Maldivian tuna is very unique. And it is packed with love. So, as a donation of love and friendship between the two countries, the government decided to donate.
Thank you very much. We know that this year also marks the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations of China-Maldives. In 1972, Maldives recognized PRC. This relationship, as you said, is certainly significant. Trade-wise, bilateral trade grew some 40-50% last year. Chinese tourists account for a large chunk of all tourists, inbound tourists to your country. How would you characterize the current state of the relationship, and how do you hope that this relationship can be further boosted?
The Maldives established diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China on 14th October 1972. But even before that, we had very close friendly ties with the people of China. Earlier, as the Ming Dynasty, we still had exchanges of gifts and travelers exchange between the Maldives and China. This year, we mark the 50th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations between our two countries. The Maldives has always had a special significance to its relations with China, an unwavering commitment to the One China policy, and our shared perspective in addressing international issues of mutual interest have helped our bilateral relations thrive for benefit of the people of both countries. Maldives-China relationship can be an example of how even economically weak small members of the international community can have a mutually productive and progressive relationship with one of the biggest and the largest economic powers in the international community. China has been and remains an important economic bilateral development partner to the Maldives. in its journey to secure a place in one of the most vibrant middle-income developing country. As we celebrate the 50th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations, the celebration started earlier this year with an important and a very significant visit. The State Councillor and Foreign Minister of China, His Excellency Wang Guan, visited the Maldives during February this year. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Maldives, His Excellency Abdul Shahid, and the State Councillor had a very productive discussions and witnessed signing of important agreements between the two countries. During the visit, both ministers also unveiled a logo to be used as a symbol of the 50th anniversary celebrations. Over the past decades, the assistance and contributions by China has immensely contributed to the socio-economic development of the Maldives. From social housing projects and infrastructure projects such as the upgrading of the Velana International Airport, which is a gateway to our tourism industry, link road projects, and human resources development, which has led to numerous developments within the Maldives economy. One of the most important and landmark project is the China-Maldives Friendship Bridge. As we look forward to moving towards the win-win cooperation and explore more avenues for mutual cooperation beneficial for the people of both countries.
We know that the Maldives was one of the first countries in South Asia to join the Belt and Road Initiative.
Yes.
And like you mentioned, China-Maldives Friendship Bridge is a symbol of this initiative, of this cooperative partnership. Why is this bridge so important?
As I mentioned before, the Maldives values the important contribution by China towards the socio-economic development of the country. The capital island Malé is, the hub of our development. It's congested. A lot of people reside in the capital island. As you know, the Maldives is, one island is one hotel, one island is the airport. So
very widely dispersed.
Yes, widely dispersed. So transportation is an important factor in our development. The China-Maldives Friendship Bridge has become the symbol of the profound friendship between China and the Maldives. Since the opening of the bridge, already 100 million trips has been made between the capital island and to the connecting Hulule Island. And this made a huge contribution to the economic and social development as well. The bridge has changed people's lives and business, making things easier for everyone living in the area, as well as those visiting the country. The China-Maldives Friendship Bridge, social housing, as I said, and other China-aided projects have demonstrated the deep friendship of the Chinese people towards the Maldivian people and set milestones for our bilateral relations. Especially during monsoon seasons where the sea is a bit rough, it has always been very difficult to transport from between the airport. So the bridge has eased people's life and make things much easier for them.
Each day, there are millions of stories. Each one can open new perspectives, new possibilities. Wherever you look, we are there. To see, discover, explore. We put the pieces together to find what really matters to you, all around the world, all around the clock. Our reporters are at home across the globe. From our headquarters in Beijing and production centers in Washington, Nairobi, and London, China Global Television Network. Stories from across the globe, reaching people across the globe. CGTN. See the difference. Facing the unknown is always difficult. In a world in turmoil, it's easy to lose orientation. But when the storms come, we have to see the possibilities, reinvent, find new opportunities, discover a path forward. CGTN. See the difference.
Ambassador Azeema, I want to talk about climate change. We know that the Maldives is really at the front line battling climate change. It's about the lives of your fellow citizens there. I remember a senior official of your country said if no actions are taken, no drastic actions are taken, the Maldives can be underwater by the end of the century. And this is not an apocalyptic scenario in the Hollywood movie, but this is happening as we speak.
Yes, the climate change is not a concern raised only by the small island states and other climate vulnerable countries. It is not only about sea level rise or erosions. It is now a global emergency. Every day we are observing most powerful storms and hurricanes all around the world, unpredictable rains and monsoon patterns, roaring wildfires, devastating floods. Today, all nations of the world are facing the consequences of our collective inaction on climate change. Since the Maldives became a member of the United Nations, in every forum the Maldives advocates on these issues. Maldives may be powerless in unilaterally preventing the adverse effects of climate change, but that does not mean that we will simply accept our fate. In December 2020, President Ibrahim Mohammed Solih announced the intention to reach net zero emissions by 2030 at the Climate Ambition Summit. We are also rethinking our development model to achieve the future we want. President Solih's administration has introduced significant legislative and policy measures to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Under these measures, the use of single plastics will be completely phased out by 2023. In COP27 this year, the Maldives will continue to vocalize the fight of small island nations and vulnerable nations. We will reiterate over and over again that we have just over 90 months to bring down the global emissions to limit the temperature rise to 1.5 degrees. That any small increment in warming means destruction of our lives, of life-giving coral reefs, increased erosions, droughts, and changes to our fish stock. We will continue to ask the world to respond the situation for what it is and the emergency. The Maldives stands at the forefront of the climate change battle. The Maldives is one of the most vulnerable island countries on earth to the effects of climate change and thus need to adapt to climate change. The lowest lying country in the world is not even built on sand, but on planet's most endangered ecosystem, coral reefs that shattered fragments of which compromise even of our fabulous white beaches. We work together for a shared future, for a peaceful tomorrow for future generations to come.
So, Madam Ambassador, we know that the Maldives is an upper middle income country with a per capita GDP increasing significantly year by year. And the president of your country said he wants to diversify the economy of the Maldives, not just relying on the tourism industry. How do you see that happening?
The Maldives has continued to develop at a steady pace during the last 20 years. The economy has remained resilient amongst the shocks of the world has been seen during the past period. Pro-market policies embedded within the government's economic vision contribute to a strong, liberal and transparent trading and commercial environment. In its drive to build a strong and stable economy, the government has implemented several policies that opens up attractive opportunities for foreign investors. Maldives has enjoyed strong economic growth with considerable development of the country's infrastructure and connectivity. The economy has grown at an annual rate of 6.4% during the five years period prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. By 2019, annual GDP has increased to US $5.6 billion, with a per capita GDP of US $10,541. Although the pandemic has reduced economic growth, early signs in recovery of the key economic sectors indicate that the country can bounce back to its expected economic performance in a relatively short period of time. President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih's administration is committed to further diversifying its economy by facilitating investment in targeted sectors such as construction, agriculture, transport, energy, renewable energy inclusive of, and the financial sectors. The Maldives has distinct advantages that provide significant economic opportunities. As a unique country that has great opportunities to invest in new technologies and unique solutions in a variety of economic sectors to maximize the economic advantages presented by its location, beauty, infrastructure, and human capital.
You know, Ambassador Azeema, there are tons of information online about why Maldives is a beautiful and attractive country, but I still want to get it from you as the ambassador of the Maldives to China. Why should people, I mean, especially those people in China, go to your country? What are the best kept secrets of the Maldives?
One of the most other important attractions in the Maldives is the breathtaking Sea of the Star in the Maldives. If you see the northern hemisphere, it's the northern lights, but in the southern hemisphere, it's the Maldives, the blue luminescence which you find in the Maldives beaches, especially during the night, it shines as blue stars in our beaches. It's very, very beautiful.
Madam Ambassador, I mean, what a collection of good stuff from your country. I mean, I was really fascinated by how fine these sands are, for example. It's really, really like unique to Maldives, no?
Yes, this is very unique to the Maldives. All our beaches are white, sandy beaches, even whiter than this.
I wish our viewers could taste it, could touch it. This is very refined and fine articles. I mean, you don't see it anywhere.
And if you actually visit our beach and feel the smell and the texture,
it smells salty
it's
already.
more natural and refreshing.
Okay. It's so important to make sure that the beaches are clean, the sands are clean, not just for now, but when the tourists are gone. Not just this year, but for many years and decades to come. And it's not easy.
Yes, sustaining our natural beauty is very important to the Maldives. Not only in the tourist resorts, but also in the local islands where the local population resides. Importance is given by the communities to make the beaches and the shore clean and protected from human errors. Yeah.
What about these?
These are drums. These are also made in the Maldives. This is made from the coconut palm and trunk of the coconut palm. The drums are used for Maldives traditional music. The bodobero.
Bodobero.
Yes, it's.
What's bodobero?
Bodobero is music played using the drums. And then they sing and perform lively, here. Yes.
Those ones. Beautiful, beautiful. Would you say this is a typical Maldives dress for ladies?
This is a traditional Maldivian lady. The dress here the dress is like this,
okay.
And the dress this is handmade. Even the threads, it's handmade, and also it's laid on the dress by hand. Even though the dress is stitched, using the sewing machine. Red is one of the most popular colors used for our traditional Maldivian dress. Yeah. It also comes with a very unique type of necklace. which is used traditionally by the Maldivians. But even now we use this dress in important occasions as the traditional wear. This is the traditional fishing vessel used by the Maldivians. Also, it is called doni. This vessel was not only used as a fishing vessel, but also as a mean of transportation between islands. I remember when I was as a child, my first trip to my maternal grandparents was by
boat?
By a boat, using the sail, you know. And it took me 3 days to reach from the capital island where I actually belong to my maternal grandparents' island, which is quite far away. But nowadays it takes by speedboat only 4 hours, and by a seaplane or flight about 25 minutes. And also at that time the Maldives fishermen go out fishing early in the morning and come back before sunset with the fish catch they have, which is limited stock because of the capacity of the boat, and at that time they do not have the storage facilities. But modern technology has advanced, and the fishing industry also advanced in the Maldives. Now we have multi-day fishing vessels where storage facility is available, and fishermen can go out for fishing in the outer sea for weeks.
So the 1 million tons of tuna fish that the Maldives gave to the Chinese was caught by one of these boats?
Caught by our fishermen and processed in the Maldives.
Wow. I look at the sands as if I'm already there, but nothing compares to a real trip to your country. And thank you so much for being an ambassador of goodwill and friendship.
Thank you very much. The Maldives borders are open, and we are eagerly waiting for the Chinese to travel back to the Maldives and enjoy our beautiful beaches, and allow us to extend our warmest hospitality and welcome to the Maldives.
From a fishing village to a development success, as well as one of the world's most popular tourist destinations, Maldives is the envy of many. But now, the country is threatened by climate change through no fault of its own. It is once again a stark reminder that we're all in this together. Thank you for watching this episode of The Hub on CGTN. I'm Wang Guan in Beijing.